First one, New England at home, -7, -105 versus Buffalo. I like New England. You got Garoppolo coming back. It's their third straight home game. They've had 10 days rest. When you can give Belichick that much rest, I'm all over it. He's been pounding the rock too. 38 times running the ball versus Miami, 39 versus Houston. The Bills' passing attack's only doing 163 yards a game. The other thing is they're creating turnovers. So the only guy you really have to worry about, I think, for Buffalo really is Shady. You got Watkins who's out, so I'm going with New England. Second game. This could be my sucker bet of the day, but it's Raiders at Ravens. Raiders, over the last 2 years and 3 games, they're 12-6 against the spread on the road. They're also 6-2 as a road dog of 3.5 to 7 points. The big problem is they're going back-to-back East Coast, and that just is danger. So the other thing is, too, is when you got the Ravens, they're not really a great home team against the spread. 6-10 the last 2 seasons plus these first 3 games. So, and what I've seen is the Ravens can't run the ball. 3 games, they've had 83, 80, and 84 yards, averaging under 4 yards a carry. So if you get the Raiders, whose defense hasn't played all that well, to stop the run, maybe they can get they can get Mack and Irvin coming off the edge against Flacco. But and there's always a good chance for that backdoor cover. So I'm going Raiders plus 3.5. The back-to-back East Coast trip scares me, but I have to go with the Raiders. I don't trust the Ravens at this juncture. Next game that the line seems very strange. You got Denver, who's also going back-to-back 2 East Coast trips, headed into Tampa Bay as a 3-point favorite. I expected that line to be about 6-point favorites. Tampa Bay's given up 33 points a game to Atlanta, Zona, and the Rams. Denver hasn't given up a 200-yard passing attack yet, and they face Cam, Dalton, and Luck. And Winston, you put pressure on him, he wants to hang in that pocket. He's going to turn the ball over. So, and Tampa hasn't run the ball well, only 86 yards a game. So I have to like definitely Denver. That's a recipe for Denver for sure. They're a home dog, 3 or less. They're only 1-4 against the spread over the last 2 years and 3 games. That's Tampa. So give me Denver. I'll lay the 3. If it's a sucker bet on back-to-back, I'll take the beat, but I'm going with the boys. Here we go. Minnesota. 3-0 Monday night versus the Giants, 2-1. Minnesota against the spread the last 2 seasons and 3 games, 27-9. Games against teams with a winning record, 9-3 against the spread. Conference opponents, 19-8 against the spread. At home, 13-5 against the spread. I really like the Vikings here, -4 against the Giants. The Giants are completing like 300 yards a game, but Eli is total Jekyll and Hyde, as everybody knows. When he's good, he's very good. When he gets out of rhythm, he's bad. They could have won that game against the Skins last Sunday. I did take Washington plus 4.5, but he throws 2 lazy garbage interceptions at the end. And you've got a big, ferocious defense for the Vikings, who have forced 9 turnovers in 3 games, each game 3. And that's against Aaron Rodgers and Cam Newton. What are they going to do against Eli, who is prone to turn the ball over? Plus, Minnesota with Bradford's only given the rock away 1 time in the 3 games, where Giants are just the opposite. They've only created 1 turnover, but they've turned it over 7 times. That's a recipe for disaster. I like Minnesota. Barr, Griffin, Joseph, Kendricks, Harrison Smith. Even their 3 cornerbacks are decent. Rhodes, Newman, Waynes are not bad. The sharp money has driven the line back down from 5 to 4. And if I was there, I would lay 6. So I'm obviously going to lay the 4. I don't know why that line isn't higher. Seattle against the Jets. Tough game. I am a Seahawk fan. Seattle's a slow starting team. 2-5 against the spread in October over the last 2 years and 3 games. What else? 2014, they started 3-3. 2015, they started 2-4. When they started 3-3, they still went to the Super Bowl. They started 2-4 last year, went to the divisionals. But they just aren't good in those early East time games. They start so slow in that first half, and they pick it up in the second half, which has been pretty paramount and obvious when they played Carolina last year. What are they down like 27-3 at half? You got Decker, who's out for the passing attack of the Jets, and Fitz won't throw that plethora of picks. Seattle, surprisingly, he's only created 1 turnover in 3 games, and that's versus Tannehill, Keenum, and Gabbert. 1 turnover. That's terrible. So when I look at this game, you got the front 7 of the Jets versus the terrible offensive line of the Seahawks. And Wilson being immobile with a brace and an ankle sprain, that leans to the Jets. I don't like the game at all because I'm a Seahawk fan. But if I had to take a wager the way Seattle starts, I would take the Jets at the first half at +0.5 -120. Jets first half +0.5 -120. Seattle, I hope, comes back and wins this ball game. Obviously, I'm rooting for them. I do like the under. Like I said, with Decker, I think it's just going to be Seattle's going to have such a conservative game plan that I think the total stays under a very low 39.5 or 40. So those are the games right now. I'm taking the Vikes -4. I'm taking the Patriots -7 -105. I'm taking the Raiders +3.5. I'm taking Denver -3. A couple of them seem strange, especially the back-to-back with Denver and the Raiders, but I'm running with those and probably take the under in the Seattle Jets game. So good luck to everybody, and that's where I'm at. Week 4 NFL. We're going to go over a few picks today. Before I go over the games I'm going to select, let's go over some here. Colts -1.5 in London versus Jacksonville. -1.5. I will take the Colts. The Jags seem to know how to lose games every week. Second game on the docket, we've got the Washington Redskins -7.5 against the Cleveland Browns. Don't like either team. Like the Skins more. We'll probably take the points in this game at 7.5. Probably lean to Cleveland, which is always crazy. Third game. This one's kind of a tough one. You got the Panthers, who are 1-2, versus the Falcons, 2-1. It's in Atlanta. Carolina's favored by 3. The only loss that Carolina had last year was in the Georgia Dome. So they may have some type of revenge there. Atlanta's offensive line's playing a lot better with Alex Mack. I'm going to have to take the Falcons plus the 3 at home. Fourth game, Lions. Given 3 on the road against Chicago. God, who knows? Can't stand the Bears. That's why I would never take this game. I'll probably lean to the Bears, getting a home dog at +3, trying to get their first win of the year. Fifth game, Texans, -4.5 at home versus Tennessee. All the money's been laid on the Texans. Osweiler's not playing really well. J.J. Watt is out. For some reason, I think them coming home after that long flight back from New England, getting whacked up there 27-0. I'm actually going to go with the Texans on this at -4.5. Sixth game, we got the Cowboys. Money's been going on San Francisco. Dallas is currently at -1. Des Bryant should be out this game. I'm going to have to go with the 49ers. They got whacked in Seattle, got blasted in Carolina, but those are 2 elite teams. They did beat the Rams at home. They are coming home. I'm taking the San Francisco 49ers in this game. San Diego's at home against the Saints, -3.5. Tough game. Saints haven't won a ball game all year. They're desperate to get in the win column. San Diego, very good at home, laying 3.5. I'm not a big favorites guy. I'm going to lean to San Diego and laying 3.5 against a poor secondary, and figuring New Orleans won't play that well on the road. Arizona at home, -8 against the Rams. Oh boy, Carson Palmer's really stinking up the joint. Had a terrible game up in Buffalo. Coming home, tough one. I guess I'll take the points being a dog with the Rams. It's a tough game for me to pick. Arizona's going to be mad. Hornets Nest. I'll take the 8 points. Final game, Steelers at home, -3.5 against the Chiefs. All the sharp money's going on the Chiefs right now. Went from 5 down to 3.5. I think the Steelers come off of that shellacking in Philly and take care of business against the Chiefs, win by 4 or more. So I've got to go with the Steelers in that. I'm going against where all the money's headed. Take the Steelers. Le'Veon Bell's coming back. You know, Tomlin, one of my favorite coaches in the National Football League. So I'm going with the Steelers. So Colts, Browns, Falcons, Bears, Texans, 49ers, San Diego, Rams, and Steelers.